What's up, y'all?
Hey, guys.
If you don't subscribe, I'm going to be very upset. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
This is a new year.
It is a new year.
So you should subscribe as your resolution.
That's exactly right. It's a good New Year's resolution.
It is.
Yeah, do that right now. All right.
Just between him and me, this is nice. There's no tricks. Ooh, this is
Welcome to Just John and April,
this is nice.
the relationship podcast, your place to level up your intimacy.
Yeah.
Lance J Radio Network. In fact,
What do I have to do to let you know? Should I make
Paragon 7.
flowers grow? Should I make
Yes.
So, a lot has happened in the last several days. We ended the year with some crazy stuff and had some deaths and things like that, and just actually had another one, a pretty big one. This was Sidney Poitier passed away
I know.
at the age of 94.
I love him so much.
Yeah, me too. He's really he was actually a great actor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously he did a lot for black actors. The first black male to win a leading role Oscar, 1963. That's a big deal,
Huge
obviously.
deal.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember when Denzel Washington was giving his speech. I guess he won one of his awards, and he was like, I've been chasing Sidney my whole life.
Right.
And I think he said, the same night that I get mine, they give him another one.
Right.
So anyway.
I'm sure that was a privilege, though, to have that
sure.
happen. I mean,
Yeah.
he was joking around, but
Of course.
yeah, I was sad to hear that. But 94 years, that's a nice life.
It's, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Seems like he lived a pretty good life,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
was pretty healthy for a long time. So we think about his family. We salute Sidney Poitier
Yes,
for
we
the
do.
wonderful career, the roads that he
The
paved.
path, yes.
Yeah,
that he opened.
He trailblazed,
He
really.
did,
He
he
opened
did.
up a whole thing, what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and I love that when you read about him,
Mm-hmm.
it says that he didn't just take any old role,
Right. Yeah.
you know?
He was like, if that's demeaning, I'm not taking it.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's some cojones. You know what I'm saying? To be a black
That
man
is, yes,
in
to say,
Hollywood.
"Nah, I
but
ain't
taking
doing that."
role. Nah, no thanks. I know you want me in that one, but I'm
I
not doing it.
love that
I
so
do too.
much. I
Yeah.
love that so much.
I do
yeah.
too. That's a big deal. I want to have that kind of courage.
Exactly.
Anyway, so today I wanted to talk about something.
Okay.
So first of all, there's this thing happening right now on social
Mm-hmm.
media. It's called the 10-year challenge. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. The 10-year challenge, you're supposed to take a picture from 10 years ago. I guess that would be 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And then side by side that with a picture from 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And people have been getting creative with it. I saw somebody the other day put a picture of Denzel and then him. And I'm like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was funny though.
Right. He did kind of look like him a little
It
bit,
does a little
too.
bit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, maybe you do look a little bit alike.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying? But anyway, April and I decided to do it. But the funny thing is, and I want to just say this. I know I didn't say anything to you about this beforehand, but I actually think, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You know that. I'm not that guy.
No,
But
you're
babe,
not. I'm more of a conspiracy theorist
Yes,
than
but I
you.
actually feel like the internet is conspiring against us when they do these challenges and stuff. I'm telling you, they're trying to
They
keep
wanna
tabs.
see- yeah,
They need like new
see.
data points. What do you still look the same as you did 10 years ago? And then they can have that in there. I'm telling you, man.
That is so true. I never thought about that.
Well, we did it anyway.
I'm
So
quick to believe that.
Right. Well, we did the 10-year challenge anyway.
We did because it's fun.
It is
and
fun.
it's good to look back and say, let's see how much I aged.
Right.
Let me see.
So let me ask you a question. A couple of things
Mm-hmm.
before we talk about why we're talking about this. Number one, when we put the pictures side by side, be honest, totally honest.
Yeah.
Were you disappointed at the way you look now in comparison to then?
I'm going to be honest with you. The
Be
only
honest.
thing that I was like, oh, man, was that I missed my haircut that I had 10 years ago.
Or you liked that haircut, and that's the
Yeah.
only thing.
I was like, ooh, I kind of like that. But
That was a cute haircut, though.
when I looked,
I
I was like,
little pixie.
I honestly couldn't tell the difference. I mean, I'm not trying to be whatever.
I couldn't either. I looked at you. I'm serious.
I don't have any gray.
Right, that's true. Now,
So
me,
I have
think,
no gray.
Now, seriously,
And
though.
I was born with crow's feet. So,
Right. So you always had that. Okay, so here's the thing. It's me and you in the picture together.
Yes.
Okay, you just said you weren't disappointed in how you looked. Were you disappointed that I look so much older? I have a lot. Listen, I had no gray hair at
I
all in my beard. I have
know.
nothing but gray now.
I know.
Were you disappointed? Tell the truth.
Disappointed? Not at all.
Tell the truth.
Honey, you fine as wine, sweet as sherbet, juicy as a
That's what I'm
steak.
talking
Cut
about.
me some, okay?
Yeah. So, all right, that's good. I'm glad you
Listen,
didn't feel
some
that way.
gray doesn't. You might look older because it's like, okay, gray means old,
Right.
but you can still look distinguished and sophisticated,
Okay.
with the
All
gray.
right,
And I think
all right.
that's how yours looks.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Okay, good. So,
Yes.
so here's the thing. What we noticed, and the reason why we're talking about this, what we recognized was we were like, you know what? Let's write some kind of caption for this post rather than just posting, 10-year challenge and that's it.
Yeah.
And we started thinking about what has happened over the last
Y'all,
10 years.
I could not believe how much has happened over the 10 years.
Yo,
when we
like
started
everything.
looking back. First
Right.
of all, we moved to 3 different states
Correct.
in 10 years.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We bought 3 different homes
Yes.
in 10 years.
Sold 2 of them.
Sold 2 of them within the 10 years.
Right.
I worked at 4 different schools.
I worked at 3 different churches.
I mean, our kids went from elementary school to middle to high school.
Exactly.
In 10 years.
In 10 years.
I mean, it really is crazy when you look back. It's like, and then we're in a pandemic.
Right.
Like,
Right.
We lived through quarantine. We lived through being with each other 24/7 for like a year.
Right. So here's what I want to know.
Say, wow, we are pretty,
Yeah, it's a lot.
like that is a lot.
Okay, so we've been married 21 years now, which means we have 2
Half of
10
those
years to compare.
That's
right?
true.
Okay. So what
I
I
didn't
want to
think
know
about
is
that.
when you compare the first 10 years of our relationship to the last 10 years, would you say one felt more enjoyable than the other? Would you say one was more difficult than the other? How would you characterize the first year as compared, the first 10 as compared to the second 10? Were either of them miserable?
No, they were not miserable at all, babe.
Bet not.
I've enjoyed every year.
Me too. I agree.
So I would say this. I would say comparing the first 10 years with
Yes.
the second half or the,
Yes.
past 10 years.
Yes.
The first 10 years to me, even though our kids were little,
Uh-huh.
I felt was a lot more, lot less busy.
I can agree with
I
that.
feel like the second 10.
I agree with that.
And if you think about it,
I'm thinking.
the 3 years that we moved within these 10,
Yes. You mean the last 3?
the last 3,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
have been the bigger cities. Think
True.
about it. We went
True.
from Durham, North Carolina, not really a big city, but
Right.
it's bigger than where we
Right.
were, right?
Right.
Then we went to Atlanta, which
Right.
is crazy.
Right. And now we're in DC.
and now we're in DC.
Right.
So it's like
So the last 3,
busyness
it's
has
gotten-
just
yeah, it's gotten
yes.
worse.
And so I kind of missed those first 10 years because it was a lot more chill. We
Yeah.
were, our jobs were 15 minutes away
Yeah.
or less.
Right.
We could just decide to get up and go to the park or
Right.
just go do stuff with the kids. It's like
Yeah.
now you got to take them to basketball practice. It's not over
Right.
till 9:00 at night. You know what I mean? They got this, they got that. We
Right.
got this, we got that.
Right.
So it's a lot less. So I really do miss that small town, slow
Slower,
down.
yes.
Even though I grew up in Atlanta,
Right.
so I didn't have that, small town life. But I'm
Right.
saying when we got it was like, oh, I see why people choose to live
Yes,
like this because
right.
when you think about raising your children and just life, it's like, do you want to be caught up in all of the busyness where it moves so fast?
The
you
rat
can't
race.
the rat race. You
Yeah.
can't even see that your kids are growing.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You can't
Yeah.
even sit and just watch.
That's true.
I felt like we were more observant the first 10 years to see the things that were really happening.
I agree, and I think we had to be.
You know?
Now, there's the thing about that, though. The first 5 of those 10, we didn't have kids.
That's true.
Then
I'm
the
not
next,
thinking.
so if you really think about the first 10 years of our marriage, we had no kids the first 5. We had little kids the second 5, right? Okay. So to me, there was way more transition and change in the first 10. I would say if I was comparing the 2 of them, I kind of like the second 10 better than the first, only because I felt like the first 10 felt like something new almost every single year. You know what I'm saying? We went from having no kids till we went away to school, like grad school,
Yeah.
and then came back, and then we had kids, and then we had 1 kid, and then we had 2 kids. So
Yeah.
going
Yeah,
from
yeah,
being
yeah.
a parent of 1 to being a parent of 2,
Yeah.
all of that was
That's
like
a lot of change.
It was a lot of change. No sleep was happening.
That's
I feel like this
true.
second 10, even though it's been busier, I've slept way better. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I mean,
of
for
course,
real.
Of course. But I just want to just reiterate the idea, though, of not being so busy.
Well, we're
You know what I
we're
mean?
trying to get back to that, though. So what we have done is
Mm-hmm.
made a resolution for this year that we will be in charge of our stress level, that we're not going to allow ourselves to be like feeling overworked and all that stuff. We're going to have margin in our lives. We're going to take breaks. We're going to that was
and we're
our
really
idea.
Encouraging our audience to join us because
Y'all need to join us in that.
We've decided to cut some stuff, y'all, like some serious stuff like that we did for a service for people, some things that we've done.
Yes.
And it was like, is this really worth our time?
Yeah.
As far as, because our time is so precious.
It's valuable.
And it is valuable. And you have to look at it like that. Like, how valuable is my time?
Right.
What do I need to cut? What can I cut?
Right.
Like, just look at those things. Because when we saw what we could cut, we said, wow, we actually can cut this.
Of course.
Some things you feel like you can't cut.
Right.
But then when you realize, wait a minute, I can cut it, then you can actually bring back time into your life.
Correct. Now here's my personal feeling. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that the pandemic has taught us, and that is that there's a lot of things we thought we had to do that we realize now we don't have to do. Because the world keeps spinning. Stuff keeps happening.
Listen.
I mean, the world stopped, meaning no one was working. Everybody was at home. Everything was shut down. And the world literally kept spinning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Things did not fall out of the sky. The stars didn't fall. The moon with the orbit didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think we just realized we don't have to do all the stuff that we do. Let's just be like, you know what? I'm not doing that.
Right.
And I'm going to regain some of my sanity
so
because
that,
I'm not working all
though,
the
you
time.
can focus on those things that you really want to do.
There you go.
That's the thing.
Put your energy into the stuff you really care about.
That you really care about.
Yes, that's where I'm at.
I do believe that people are starting to realize that now that we've gone through this quarantine pandemic type stuff. It's like we realize, wait a minute, I want to put my time into this.
Right.
This is what I want to put my energy into.
Yes. And I love putting my energy in being on the radio here, WOL,
I do too.
in DC,
Yes.
WVOL in Nashville, being on Lance J Radio. This is amazing. I love this. This is great. I love being able to put stuff on YouTube and talk to our audience and encourage them and everything like
And
that.
I think
fun.
putting my time into something like this that I want to do,
Right.
putting our time into talking to couples about relationships,
Right.
Posting on Instagram, different things that will help people grow.
Yes.
I feel like that fulfills me. I
Right.
feel like that's what I want to put my time into. And
Right.
I would just encourage you to find that thing that you want to put your time into and then transfer that time. Now not to fill up the space that you just took back.
Correct, because that's
not
the
what I'm
temptation.
saying.
The
That's not what I'm
temptation
saying.
is as soon as you find an opening to fill it up with something
Yes.
else. Nah, you need to
No.
fill some of that stuff with nothing.
Exactly. Or fill it up with what's important to you,
Yes.
like family.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
getting that family time back.
Yeah.
Because I think also what this pandemic has taught us is that family actually is really important.
Oh yeah, extremely.
And that making sure that family time is in there, you gotta do it.
You have
gotta
to.
make it a point.
So
Yeah.
this takes us really to our word of the day, and I love the word of the day because
I do too.
the word of the day
It keeps the conversation going.
Oh, it really does.
Yeah.
But it also gives
Yeah.
us something to focus our attention on at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And our word of the day today is persevere.
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 Yes.
What does it mean?
Continue in a course of action, even in the face of difficulty.
So we've had some difficulties over the years, over the past 10
Yes.
years, and we have
Moving
persevered
3
through it.
times alone
That's not easy.
was difficult.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, with small children and big children.
That's true. We've done
You know?
both. You're right. We've done small children and big
Yes,
children.
and it was
Ooh, that's a
actually
good point.
harder with big children.
I think it was. Yes,
I think
agree.
the hardest was with the big children
Because I think when they're small, it's like an adventure. You can tell them,
and
hey,
they're
it's an
like,
adventure, so
"Yay,
we're going to do it.
we're
And they're like,
ready
oh,
for
yeah, we
this,
can't
you
wait.
know?
And
New
now it's like,
room and all that kind of
right.
stuff.
Now it's like, oh, I'm losing my friends.
right.
You know, what
it's
are we
very
doing?
different.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah.
definitely persevere through that thing. Start new jobs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I challenge our audience also to look at the past 10 years and see where God has brought you. Because
That's you got to look back.
Yeah,
It might be
because-
good, even if you don't post to social media
Yes.
because, you think they're going to take that information and use it against you, which they probably
that might
will.
just be you, babe.
Yeah, it might just be. But go back and just look. What was 10 years ago like? Look
Mm-hmm.
at a picture of yourself and see, did you look happier? Did you look younger? Did you look older? Maybe in the past 10 years, you've actually done something great, like, gotten healthy. Where you were unhealthy before,
Right.
or maybe you were
Your business was at some point, and now it's at
and now it's
another.
grown
And the
to
picture
another.
shows it, and,
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
you look, you can tell.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But I think
Go back and
looking,
just see.
it took this challenge to make us look back.
Correct. That's
on
what I'm
the
saying.
10 years, guys. We didn't even realize I mean, 10 to me, it's like that's not.
It doesn't seem like that long ago, right?
But it's like 10
it's
years,
a
but
lot.
so much has happened, and it
Yes.
took that post to make us really
Yes.
look at it and say,
Yes.
"Wait a minute,
Yes.
God is good
He's good all the time.
all the time." Okay,
And the point is, he can help you
Like-
to make it through all this stuff. You can
Yes.
persevere even through the difficult
Yes.
times. And I want to speak to you right now because, we got this Omicron, and then we just read just now about the Deltacron and all this other kind of stuff. That stuff is discouraging
Listen,
sometimes. You
I
start
can't
thinking
even
about
let that get to me.
Right. So I'm saying,
can't.
you got to just think about persevering. You can make it
Yeah.
through. You know what?
Yes.
2022 just began. You can do it. You can make it.
You
Through
can.
God, all things are possible.
Yes.
He's going to bring you through. He's taking you through the last 10 years. He's going to bring you through now. All you got to do is keep trusting in him.
Yeah, I think what I've learned the most in the past year, really in the past few months, is that being more optimistic and positive and just good talking and thinking, and that really
Makes a
does
difference.
make a difference in your life. I didn't believe that at first. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, talking about,
Yeah, right.
but really, like being more deliberate in being positive
Yeah, yeah.
in the midst of negative.
Yes.
I think it took the midst of negative to make me see,
Yeah.
okay, speaking positively actually helps with that
Yeah,
when you're in that
yeah,
negative state
yeah.
around you, when it's all around you,
Yes, I agree.
So
I agree wholeheartedly. Well, it's good seeing y'all.
that's why we dance, y'all.
First time seeing y'all in 2022. Hope y'all having fun so far. We'll see y'all next week. We'll be
All
right here
guys.
again.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
Peace.